All right, so this was the fifth sort of full game in the Handball Chess Boss series. Remember, at this stage, there's been a couple of games that were just aborted and were wins on time because the opponent in those didn't make any more than 2 or 3 moves. Not going to do videos for those ones because that's a bit pointless. So what happens in this one? Well, let's have a look. So we have the white pieces. That's a 17 move game, so it's a miniature. And e4 by me, not something I usually play, but at this point I was just mixing the openings up. e5 is absolutely fine. Knight f3 is perfectly standard, far and away the most common move. And then g6, straight away an inaccuracy. And you can see the computer's already saying, yeah, pawn and a half advantage to white. Well, why? Well, it sort of drops that pawn. It just does drop that pawn. It's undefended, so that's the first reason not to play it. I mean, the best move is going to be knight to c6, which from there defends that pawn. Let's just go back and move. Others that you can play knight to f6. That's absolutely fine. The Petrov defense is okay. You could play d6, Philidor defense, bit passive, but okay. If you're really crazy, and I like this one, you could even play f5, known as the Latvian gambit. That's a bit wild, but g6 is just not a good move. So, okay, let's see where we went. So, yeah, not the best of replies. I could have taken the pawn, but I've decided here I've got development advantage. I thought I'd try to point that one that way, probably this one, and then gang up on f7. Okay, let's carry on. Knight to f6. Well, okay, still not doing anything about defending this pawn. Bishop g7 would have been better because it would have defended that pawn. d3 actually says that's a missed win. Knight takes e5. I don't quite know why I didn't play knight takes e5. I think I must have been feeling a bit generous at the time. Maybe I hadn't had my morning coffee. I actually don't know why I played that move. It's not a particular. I mean, it's not a bad move. You're still okay, but it's not good enough. Knight takes e5 just wins. But anyway, on we go. Queen e7, knight to c3, just calmly developing, fine. Knight to c6, not the best of moves. Queen e7's not great, by the way, because you really should be putting the bishop here and castling. Bishop g5, and yeah, this pin here is not going to be very pleasant at all. The knight's going to come in here. This square is undefended. You can all see this is starting to go a bit south. Knight to d4 is not a great move. As you can see, that changes the analysis big time. Bishop g7 still lets black sort of struggle on. Knight to d5 is the best move. Why? Well, knight takes knight, no good because you'd lose the queen. And the other problem here is, of course, there's now 2 white pieces attacking the f6 knight. This knight is also attacking, oops, excuse me, it's a bad arrow, is also attacking c7, which then means there's a fork from that square to the king and rook. It's just horrid. And queen d8 is just the worst of a bad bunch. Knight d5, accepting the loss of the queen, was probably the best move. So bishop takes. Bishop b4 check, why not at this point, but c3, and now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 black pieces all under attack from weaker pieces, so big problems. Knight takes knight, it's a check, well, okay, queen takes, fine, but there's nothing that really can be done about this bishop up here. It's just a monster at this point. So bishop takes, the queen is now checkmated. There's no square to go for the black queen, so it may as well take. King takes is a bit of a blunder. It walks into a quick checkmate, but I mean, so what really? Even if you play f6, it's just dead, this one. And so king goes back there, queen to f6, that's forced. Bishop f7 forces the next move. It's the only square to go to. Bishop g6 is check from the queen. So once again, only 1 square for the king and checkmate. So an easy little miniature. d3 was a bit of a disappointing move. I should have just played knight takes pawn and got on with it really. But yeah, other than that, pretty comfortable game. And a nice little sort of forced checkmate at the end. But as I say, they're going to get harder. as we go on. We're certainly not going to win every game in the series, that's for sure. So yeah, okay, that's that one done and completed. See you next time.